We know he came baptizing. We know that meant to the Jewish, what that meant to the Jewish people. That's what they saw Gentiles going through when they wanted to become Jewish. If they were men, they went through circumcision, they went through some other cleansing rites, and then they went through a baptism, an immersion. We know what the word means, immersed, okay? And so we got John out there telling them that they are really not children of God. They're not children of Abraham just because they were born Jewish. But it was children of faith. We've been through that. We went through that in the book of Mark. Right? There's a problem with John the Baptist. There's a problem. Where our writer is, God, the Gospel of John, they must be elevating John the Baptist beyond where he belongs. No, surely not. Well, now we know that John, the Gospel writer, is writing somewhere in Asia Minor, probably around Ephesus. And if you remember your study in Acts chapter 19, when Paul shows up there, he finds disciples of John the Baptist. There's people that didn't even know about Jesus who were out preaching about John the Baptist. And there were people following them. And he asked them, did you receive the Holy Spirit? And they said, we didn't even know there was one. Okay. This is 30 years later. There's still a problem out there with John the Baptist. How do you know? Well, look what John does. Last week he talked about the Word, and we talked about that amazing concept of all of that becoming flesh. The light, the truth, the grace, all of those things that God actually became flesh. And he talked about the Word. And he paints this amazing picture. And then he says, there was a man named John. And he came to testify about the Logos, the Word. He wasn't the Messiah. He was just someone that came to say, this is the one, this is the Messiah. And then when you read over and over through what we just read, you'll see it that John, the writer, is saying, this is where John is. He's not the Christ. He's not someone to put up on a pedestal. He came to point to Jesus, and he said, when Jesus is here, look at him. Look at him. Later on in the gospel, we're going to have him saying, he must increase, I must decrease. Now, there's something really important for us to learn from this. Really, really important. John the Baptist or Jesus? Are they close? No. They're not even in the same category. Why would anybody be tempted? Why would be even tempted to elevate John the Baptist? I mean, we paint pictures of him. Some of them aren't even anatomically correct. Okay? It's artist renditions. You see a lot of them. There was one at the beginning of the order of worship, right? I mean, it's easy to find pictures of Jesus and John the Baptist, and people like that. And they like to talk about John. What is it about us? What is it about our sinful nature that we could possibly fall into the same trap, the same problem that the gospel writer is trying to correct here? Do you understand that the gospel writer is trying to correct their image of John the Baptist? He's trying to say, we're talking about Jesus and you're talking about John. Why? Why do we do this? Why do we like to elevate other human beings? Oh, here's a clue. Okay? He said, the law came through Moses. Grace and truth come through Jesus. You ever met somebody who's still hung up on Moses? Moses. Man, now there's a dude. That's a guy you want to meet. Moses. You know, if you ever read the Old Testament accounts, it goes out of the way to talk about how Moses really messed up. And how Moses didn't want to take the job. And how Moses actually made some serious mistakes. And if you read about any other human in the Bible, it'll do the same thing. It'll tell you about David. It'll tell you about how David bottomed out. I did some really stupid stuff, but still we want to elevate them. We want to talk about Moses. We want to talk about John the Baptist. Now there was a guy. There was a true man's man. John out there eating that locust, you know, and yeah. We want to talk about saints. We want to talk about the 12 apostles and how they're saints. And we want to name things. Saint so-and-so. Saint so-and-so. And saint. You know what Peter says? We're all saints. What is it about our sinful nature? What is it that we want to elevate humans? And we want to ignore the fact that they're just like us. That they have the same sinful nature as us. You know, in our movement, if we would have named something after Alexander Campbell when he was alive, he would have just come to pieces. Or Barton W. Stone, they would have just, good night, they would have just come unglued. They'd say it's not about them. Now we have books written about them. What is it about our sinful nature that we are willing to let us put somebody else a little bit higher and say they have achieved some degree of glory? What is it? I don't know who it is for you. Maybe it's Paul, St. Paul. Maybe it's Peter, St. Peter. You know, on our chalice we've got a cross. St. Andrew's cross. How much do you know about St. Andrew? Probably not much. Why do we do this? Why did they do it in Asia Minor? Why is John saying, listen, John the Baptist was just a man. He was a man. And then he's going to go on to say, Jesus knew what was in men's hearts. Jesus knows what's in your heart. He knows that you're not different than any other human. He knows. He knows about your sinful nature, and He loves you anyway. But there's something. There's something about us that says, well, this person is more lovable. We're going to, this guy, or this woman, Mother Teresa. Oh, Gary, get closer here. She's more lovable. Right? She's closer to God, right? No. This is something you and I are going to struggle with until we die. This is something deeply ingrained in our sinful nature. Deeply ingrained. When you have a body, you have a sinful nature. And nobody goes without it. And we love to elevate preachers. Oh, yeah, that preacher. Man, he's a great preacher. Oh, yeah. Or that guy, yeah. The college president, now, that guy, he was really something.